on this computer. So we don't really have to go over any kind of Zoom etiquette rules. Typically, we say that, you know, if you're on a Zoom conference with multiple people, to keep your microphone on mute when you're not talking so there's not background noise, and then unmute it. So that's just to put on this recording in case anybody's watching it that does want to do with multiple people as well. But since there are not, it's just you and I, that's not as important. So the first activity, and this will probably take us way less than an hour and 15 minutes since it's just you and I, but I'm sure that will be okay with you. So, but the first activity, so are you familiar with the which one doesn't belong, that strategy?
Actually, no, that's new to me. So.
Oh, nice. Okay, good. I love that. A lot of people know about it, but so what I'm going to do is share my screen first of all. So let me see. Let me share. Here we go. Okay, so there's an activity builder. First, I want to just show you the website. And I'll send a follow-up email with all of this for those people, you know, who are doing an independent study as well. But it's which WWDB, I think is what it is. Let me see. I always have to sometimes, nope. Which one doesn't belong? Okay, sorry. I said WWDB. It's WODB.ca. So okay. This is the website where, now I've created a Teacher Desmos activity with these, but you can go in and you can have, like here, they've got it split by shapes, numbers, and graphs. So for example, if you look at shapes, you literally just post these. It's just such a great strategy for getting students at any level talking and writing about math. Because even if they're a struggling student, they can say why something is different. And so they have them here for shapes. And of course you can create your own. And with the Desmos activity, there's some that I've done that are not some from here. But this is just a great starter place with them. They have them in numbers. And you might be really surprised at what students will say. Like I have this first one here in our Desmos activity, the 9, 16, 25, and 43. I mean, and for me, I immediately thought, oh, well, the 43 doesn't belong because it's not a perfect square. But you don't want to put any kind of suggestions into the student's minds. You just want to see what they think. And Paul, who has been working on these PDs with me, he did this one with these 4 numbers. And he actually, for example, had a student who said 9 doesn't belong because all of the other, if you look at their digits, they all add up to 7. And I would have never have thought about that. You know, it's you know, and so, and then some people might say 16 doesn't belong because it's not an odd number. And so it's really cool to just see what the students come up with for why, and there's, like I said, there's no wrong answer with these. So then there's also, they also have graphs here, but the graphs that I did, I just used Desmos. And so, oh, there you are. I see you peeking in. So thanks for coming in. Oh, you look fine. You look fine. So, but I did the graphs actually in Desmos. So I'm going to flip over here. Oops, I need to close out. So what I have created is, and again, when I send the follow-up email, I'll send you I'll send you the link to this Desmos activity, and then you can just make it yours. You can just copy it and edit it if you want to edit it. I'll share the activity with you. But if we want to preview this activity, what I did is made 10 different which ones don't belong. So now next question real quick. Have you used the activity builder with Desmos, the Teacher Desmos activities?
No, this is all new to me.
Okay, so let me go back then. So there's the regular desmos.com where, and I'm going to give a little background anyway for those watching doing an independent study. So we have the regular desmos.com where you just, the students it's the graphing calculator. It's the online graphing calculator where they can just, and by the way, side note, I used to love to get my students using this just to visually help them see, like, oh, there's y equals x. What happened if I make it x squared? So that's just the regular graphing calculator. Now, if you go to teacher.desmos.com, and I'm going to leave this site. So I'm already logged in. If you don't have a Teacher Desmos account, they're completely free. So you create a Teacher Desmos account. There are a ton of activities already in here, side note, that you can play around with that Desmos has already created. And also teachers shared their activities as well. I created this one custom, and I will share the link with you so that you will have that one. So you'll get this link, and when you have your Teacher Desmos account, it will automatically open up. So what I am going to do here is, hey, Darnell, can you join us for a couple of minutes?
Sure.
Would you mind? I'm going to get Darnell to join, so we'll have 3 of us in here doing this activity. So when you have this activity, this is what, Renee, it's going to look like. So I'll tell you in just a second. So you click Create Class Code and View Dashboard. Oh, sorry, I didn't want to view the dashboard yet. Oh, okay, there we go. Oops, I'm so sorry. I did want to do that. View Dashboard. So now if you will open up another tab on your computer, and Darnell, you're going to go to student.desmos.com. So Renee, this is what your students will be doing, is they'll go here to that website and they'll type in this code. So I'll let you and Darnell get in there, and if you're looking at my screen, as you come in over here on the left, you'll see the classes building. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't give you HWF52E. And I'm going to get a couple more people to, just trying to grab a couple more people to join us, but there aren't any other interns around. I was hoping they could join us just so we could see more people in here. Are you able to find that? Darnell, did you get in?
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead and put when you get in, you can do skip without signing in. Are you able to get in, Renee? There's Darnell. I see him popping in. And Renee, you're on mute. I don't know if by chance you're saying something to me.
Can you start answering stuff?
Not yet.
I'm there right now.
Okay. Not yet, Darnell. Okay.
So now click continue without signing in.
Yes. And I will make a note about this in my follow-up, but the difference in continue without signing in and having them sign in with a Google is, should they come back into it, should they come back, like go out of it and come back in, it will save their work. So if you want to use this same activity again and again, you would want them to sign in with their Google account. If they don't have one, they could, are you guys a Google district?
We are not.
Okay, so you'd have to ask them to make an account, or you can just have them skip, without signing in, and either way. Now, before you guys start working, let me show you what the dashboard looks like. So this is my teacher dashboard, and you'll see that it looks different from what you have. So I'm going to, just so people that are watching this independent study, I'm going to show what the student version looks like. So I'm going to sign in as well. And okay, so there I am. And so I'm going to go. So now if we look back here, we see that this is the teacher view up here at the top. If I want the summary view, see, that's where our 3 names are. Now, if you're using this in class, the nice thing is you can click this little guy and you can anonymize everybody. So that way, if you're not worried about students being embarrassed if their names are showing. So that's the summary view. If I want to know what the student view looks like, I can click here. Now, I have done, just to show you all the different things, you can see here, looking through this, I've put a couple of them that have numbers that you can try with your students. I've got a couple that have shapes, and then one here that has equations, one with just linear functions, linear inequalities, systems, and then a couple with quadratics. So you have 10 different options here that you can use. And one of the later ones, we're actually going to look, one of these later PDs, we're going to look at actually building these. But let's say that I decide I want to do, let's do a quadratic one. I want to do this one. And I don't want to use the rest of this teacher activity. So that's where I can come over here and I can click on pacing. And again, I'll send notes about this in the follow-up email. And I want to paste this. I only want screen 9 to show. Now, if I was doing this as a student, for those people who will be watching it after the fact, when I come, now all of a sudden this is the screen I see, and I can't go forward and I can't go backward. I only see screen 9. Now, I have this set up where you can see 3 classmates' responses, and I'll show you how we can change that if you don't want to have that. So go ahead now, Darnell, you can go ahead. And so you just pick, it's like multiple choice to you. And again, remember, there's no right and wrong. I mean, there's no wrong answer to this. Pick which one that you think doesn't belong, and then explain why you think. You'll see when you pick it, it will automatically pop up and ask you to explain. So you guys go ahead and do that. Ready, Darnell?
Okay.
And Renee, you can do that also. I'm going to stop share for just a minute because I also want to do it. So, but I don't want people.
Sure.
Okay, did you share? All right, now I'm going to come back and share my screen again. Okay, so again, here's what the student view looks like. And here are the answers. And so you all, you see the other answers, right, Darnell?
Mm-hmm.
And Renee, you see the other answers down below?
Yes.
Okay, good. I think it's fine for you to keep it on unmute since it's just the 2 of us. Now, let's go back to the teacher view. Let's go back to what you see. Now, if I go here to teacher view, see, notice even we picked different graphs. So 2 of us, and I can take off the anonymized for just us. And Darnell and I both picked the one with no solutions. And then Renee picked, yeah, so see, Darnell's over here going, oh, wow. And so you chose the one because it was opening down instead of up. And so it gives you just the chance. The cool thing about this activity is it really gives you that chance to have that dialogue with the students, to get them talking and writing about math. So we'll try one more real quick. Oh, and by the way, that was the teacher view. If I want to look at summary view right here, it comes here and I can look over and I see that all three of us, what this shows you is that yes, everyone has answered on screen 9. So we'll try a different one. Let's do a different one. I'm going to go back to pacing, and this time I think I'm going to pick the inequalities one. Okay. So now all of a sudden it switched you. See, you notice now you can't move forward, you can't move back, you only see this particular one. So I'm going to let everyone, I'm going to stop share for a minute so I can pick. And so we'll let you. Okay, Darnell, you can go ahead. Okay, so it's not going to show the answers until at least 3 people have submitted. Okay, so I'm going to share the screen again for those who are watching this. Darnell's laughing. You're getting a kick out of this, aren't you, Darnell? He's saying this is fun. It is fun, isn't it? Like,
also, it's hilarious.
I'm in your head. Oh my goodness, Darnell, Darnell and I keep picking the same one. So I guess we've been around each other a little too much. So we're in each other's head. Yep. So see, again, there's no wrong answer because yours definitely is the only one, Renee, where 2 lines intersected. And Darnell and I said, well, it's the only ones where everybody else has a different slope besides 0. So, now I'm going to go back to the teacher view. That's what the students will be seeing. So I'll go back to the teacher view and I can look at on the summary page, I can see, okay, everyone has done it because there's the dot there. Now I can click here and again, it shows me that it shows that Renee picked the intersecting one. Darnell and I both picked the ones with 0 slopes. And then it shows everyone's answers here as well. So, so it's a lot of fun and just a great way to get some good, math discourse going. Is that something that you think your students would enjoy?
Definitely.
Good. And I just love it because you've got everything gathered right here in one place. All of the data is right here. So that's a lot of fun also to do. So now again, so let me show you a couple of things on this activity. So we're finished up with this one. I can always enter that same code. If I enter that same code, it's going to bring the students back into this same activity. So just as a couple of hints, like I said, if you're going to have them come back into the same activity, I might use the Google Classroom. You can always, though, just create a different code if I want to use a different screen. But the nice thing is, I'm sorry, I said Google Classroom, I'm in a Google email. The nice thing though with the Google email is that if you did decide to use all 10 of these at some point, it would all be their same names. You wouldn't have a lot of extra data in there. But let me go out of here. So I'm going to go back to where I where I have this, and I'm going to show you how to do a couple of little things. So again, when I share this link and you create your Teacher Desmos account, it will open up it will open up for you automatically. I'm going to click it. So if I want to edit my activity, I'm going to come in here and edit it. Now is where I can look at the individual screens. And so I may have, if I, for example, don't want students to see other students' responses, I simply come, let me see, it's not getting down to the bottom of the screen. Okay, let me move my screen up. There we go. So right here, do you see this where it says show classmates responses?
Okay, where is it?
It's down at the very, very bottom. Are you seeing on my screen, there's a show classmates responses?
Okay, I'm looking at your screen. I see graph, table, sketch, media, note, more.
Okay.
I see the
Yes,
image description.
yeah, it's down beneath. You may need to pull the screen down a little bit, scroll down, yeah. And at the very bottom, do you see that yet?
I cannot. I see as far down as after picking your choice, we'll ask students explain your thinking. I can't go any further down than that.
Okay. I don't know why that's not. Well, it's because it's somehow because I'm sharing.
Yes.
Okay, you see it now? Okay, good.
My toolbar was blocking it where it says leave meeting at the bottom. But I can see the little box that you check to show student responses down in the right hand corner. There it is.
If you don't want them to see, you just click that again and it takes it off. If you say,
okay,
you know, I don't want them to see other students' responses. If you do, then now they have to submit a response before they'll see the other students' responses. So that just is it's just choice for you as to whether or not you want it. They also have randomized choices over here. So if you've got the students, maybe they're in a tight area and you're concerned that somebody's just going to pick the one that the person beside them picks or something, you can always randomize choices. So that's just an option for you as well. So that's what I would like for you to do sometime over the next 2 weeks. Just pick any one of these. You're welcome to do as many of them as you want to, but just I tried to give a choice, a variety of choice. So wherever you are, and whatever level of student you're teaching, you should be able to find, something that would work with them. And the students would need to obviously have devices. So the next thing we wanted to talk about is, are there any barriers that you can see and any problems that you could see with implementing this in your classroom?
I don't feel that it would be a barrier. I know that we have several laptops in the classroom each day, and BYOD, between that, at least a third of the classroom should be able to get on at a time. So I don't see where that would be a problem with this implement.
Perfect. That'd be great. So just for those people watching, some different options of what you could do is just, as Renee said, with the BYOD, you can access this from phones. The student Desmos does work from their phones, so they can do that from their phone if they don't have one. Another option might be to have students, if you only have a few computers, maybe students could collaborate. You could have maybe a group of 3, or just depending on how many computers that you have, you could have 2 or 3 students together, and they could, bye Darnell, and are you leaving? So,
no, I just have to go.
Okay, sorry, I had to tell Darnell goodbye. Okay, I'll see you in a minute. Yeah, and so so you could let them collaborate in a group and like maybe pick one together, as a group. So that might be an option for people that might be watching that maybe only have 4 or 5 computers. So those are all different options. So, but yeah, if you would just, I'm going to stop share right there. So if you would just sometime over the next couple of weeks, implement one of those in your classroom, and I will email it to you. If you have any problems whatsoever with, with accessing it, or if you want to change something, feel free to reach back out. I'll be happy to, to work with you on that. And then just looking for some of the data and the fun stuff that your kids have to say that we'll share when we come back together in 2 weeks. So,
alrighty.
That sound like a plan?
Thank you so much. Absolutely.
You are welcome. Well, I will send a follow-up email. I know we talked about a lot, but I'll send a follow-up email with everything, outlining everything that we talked about. And like I said, don't hesitate to reach out if there's a question or a problem with any part of it. So,
all right.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Renee. All right. Bye-bye.